Welcome back to my channel. Today's we explore the value of a specific coin, the top 7 most valuable Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny coin value in today's market in dollars. So let's get started. First up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without any mint mark is one of the most interesting coins from the final years of the Second World War, and collectors still search for it today, especially when it appears in unusual conditions, such as a normal black color shade or with visible dirt and age marks. When we talk about this penny, we look at a coin that was produced in large numbers, yet certain examples still attract attention because of their condition, their survival, and the demand from collectors who like late wartime scents. The 1945 wheat penny was struck in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins in 1945 as people were still dealing with war-era shortages, and the mint continued using the bronze alloy that had been restored after the 1943 steel cent experiment. A typical 1945 wheat penny is made of 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, and over the decades, many of these coins have developed dark surfaces and black-toned shades due to oxidation, environmental exposure, and long-term circulation. A black color shade on a wheat penny is usually the result of oxidation and dirt buildup, and although it is common in circulated coins, it does give the penny a unique aged appearance. Some collectors enjoy this natural patina because it tells the story of the coin's long journey through the hands of people in the mid-20th century, while others prefer bright red or red-brown examples, which are harder to find. In your case, a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark that has a normal black color tone and a dirty or heavily circulated surface falls into the category of low-grade circulated coins. These coins have seen decades of handling and storage and often show worn details on Lincoln's portrait, flattened wheat stalks, and discolored surfaces. However, even in this condition, it still carries value, especially for new collectors or those who simply want a piece of history from the World War II period. The value of a circulated 1945 wheat penny in black-colored, dirty condition typically sells within 5 cents to 15 cents, and sometimes up to a quarter if the details remain clear. Although not rare, it continues to be appreciated by collectors who love historic pieces from the wheat penny era. Next up, the year 1952 with the S mint mark, and we will look closely at its value in today's market, especially when found in extra fine condition. Collectors around the world continue to search for wheat pennies that stand out because of their rarity, their condition, and their historical importance, and the 1952 S Lincoln Wheat Cent remains one of the coins that consistently gets attention among beginner and advanced collectors alike. The 1952 S wheat penny was minted at the San Francisco Mint, which produced tens of millions of these coins. But as with many other wheat cents, the condition of surviving pieces plays a major role in their value. Even though the mintage was large, only a smaller portion remains in high-grade, extra-fine condition. Since wheat pennies circulated heavily during the 1950s, finding coins with strong details, sharp lines, and minimal wear has become more difficult over time. When we talk about the design, the obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been used on the cent since 1909. The designer, Victor David Brenner, created a simple yet powerful profile that remains iconic. The mint mark, S, appears right below the date on the front side, clearly showing the coin was struck in San Francisco. The reverse carries the classic wheat ears design, along with the words 1 cent and United States of America, a style that represents the early 20th century and has a strong nostalgic value for collectors. Now, when evaluating the 1952 S penny in extra fine condition, the most important factors include the strength of the details on Lincoln's coat, the sharpness of the lettering, the visibility of the wheat stalk lines, and the overall color of the coin. Extra fine condition means the coin still shows slight wear only on the highest points of the design, but most details remain visible with strong definition. A coin in this condition still shows clear lines in the wheat ears and nearly full details in Lincoln's hair and face. Collectors value these coins because extra fine examples are much more desirable than worn, heavily circulated pieces. In today's coin market, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat cent in extra fine condition can bring anywhere from $1 to around $5, depending on the buyer demand and the eye appeal of the individual piece. Coins with better luster, stronger strike, or attractive toning can sometimes bring slightly higher prices, while coins with dull surfaces or minor spots may fall toward the lower end of the pricing range. Although these values may seem modest, it is important to remember that the value comes not only from what the coin sells for today, but from how the market continues to treat wheat pennies as collectible items. As time goes on, nicer examples become harder to find, which helps support long-term interest and stability in their value. Some collectors also choose to assemble full date and mint mark sets of the wheat cent, and coins like the 1952 in extra fine condition become essential pieces for completing these sets. The 1952 penny also has a place in history because it was minted during a time of post-war economic growth in the United States. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of workers, factory employees, and everyday citizens, and holding one today provides a small connection to that period. Even though the design is simple, it carries 40 years of American history since the wheat reverse was first introduced in 1909, and collectors appreciate both the artistic and historical significance. For anyone looking to buy or sell a 1952 wheat penny in extra fine condition, understanding market trends is important. Online auction platforms, coin shows, and local dealers usually have a steady supply of wheat pennies, but coins in nicer grades tend to move quickly because collectors prefer quality over quantity. If you have a coin that is bright, sharp, and free of damage, it will always have stronger appeal than an average circulated piece. If you're evaluating your own coin, check for any signs of cleaning, scratches, discoloration, or corrosion, because these factors can lower the value. Cleaning in particular can significantly reduce the desirability of a wheat penny because it removes the natural surface and makes the coin look unnatural. Authentic, original surfaces are always preferred by knowledgeable collectors. As values shift with demand, it is always helpful to compare recent auction sales to get a realistic estimate. In most cases, though, the 1952 penny in extra fine condition remains a modest but steady performer in the collector's market. Once again, the typical selling range of $1 to $5 reflects the balance between supply and demand and also highlights how condition determines where the coin will fall within that range. Whether you are a new collector exploring the world of wheat pennies or someone who has built collections for years, the 1952 Lincoln cent offers an accessible entry point into United States numismatics. It's a coin that represents American history, strength of design, and long-term collecting interest in a simple and affordable package. As more people join the hobby, coins like this continue to be appreciated not just for their value, but for the story they carry. Since extra fine pieces are still relatively available, but not as common as lower grades, they remain an excellent choice for anyone interested in long-term collecting. Building a full wheat cent collection can be a rewarding journey, and the 1952 penny plays a meaningful role in that process. In the end, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln Wheat cent in extra fine condition is a small but valuable reminder of the past, and it continues to attract collectors because of its design, history, and steady value in the market. Whether you want to keep it as part of your collection, sell it to another collector, or study it to learn more about United States coins, this piece remains an important example of mid-century American coinage and will continue to be appreciated as time moves forward. Next up, the most valuable Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny from the year 1951 with the S mint mark, struck at the San Francisco Mint and found today in a normal black color shade condition. Many collectors come across older wheat pennies that have changed color over time due to age, storage, and circulation, and the 1951 is one of those coins that often shows dark toning or a black shade that forms naturally on copper after decades of handling. Even with this darker appearance, the coin can still hold interest, especially when it carries an S mint mark that links it to the San Francisco Mint and to a specific period in United States coinage history. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of the late wheat cent era, close to the final decade of the design, and millions of these coins entered circulation. While the total mintage was high, only a smaller portion survived in collectible condition, and an even smaller number carry unique characteristics or eye appeal that may interest buyers. A black-toned example is considered normal and generally comes from long-term exposure to oxygen, humidity, or storage in older coin folders. This type of natural darkening does not necessarily harm the value, but it also does not increase it unless the coin has unusually strong details or an error that adds rarity. Collectors who study wheat pennies know that the value of a 1951S depends mostly on condition, strike sharpness, and whether the coin shows any interesting features. A normal circulated black shade piece is common and normally does not command exceptionally high prices, but in today's market, the interest in older copper coins has grown, and even circulated examples get attention from new collectors who want to complete sets starting from early dates up to 1958. Because of this demand, the coin does have a steady market presence and can be sold depending on grade and eye appeal. When examining a 1951S penny, the first thing buyers look for is the clarity of the date and the strength of the S mint mark. The mint mark on San Francisco coins of this era can sometimes appear slightly tilted or placed a bit higher or lower than average, but these are normal variations from hand-punched mint mark practices of the time. A standard example with no special error will still show the familiar wheat ears on the reverse and the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and collectors who prefer original coins often like the deeper, darker toning because it shows the coin has not been polished or cleaned. Another factor that can influence value is the presence of any small strike errors, even on circulated coins. A 1951S penny with a light die crack, a small die chip around the mint mark, or a slightly off-center strike could bring more attention. These errors do not need to be dramatic to increase interest, because the market for wheat penny errors continues to grow as collectors search for unique pieces they can add to their albums. A black-toned coin with a visible error can still perform well at auction, especially if the error is clear and the details on Lincoln's portrait remain readable. Now, looking at today's market value for a 1951S Lincoln Wheat Penny in a normal, circulated black shade condition, the typical range is modest but steady. A heavily circulated example with worn wheat ears may be worth around 5 cents to 15 cents to general buyers, while a mid-grade circulated coin with stronger details can sell for about 25 cents up to $1. If the coin has slightly better eye appeal, even with the dark color, it can sometimes reach $1 to $2, depending on the buyer. Prices can rise further if the coin shows an attractive natural tone or if the black shade looks uniform and smooth instead of patchy. In some online sales, a nicely preserved circulated 1951S penny with good detail has sold between $2 and $5, but these higher prices usually depend on a combination of stronger strike quality and an appealing overall look. A black-toned coin with a small error can sometimes push the value higher, reaching $5 to $15, but this depends completely on the type of error and the visibility of that feature. The rarest pieces can reach auction values above $20 or more, but those examples are usually in better condition than most dark-toned circulated coins found in change or older family collections. Understanding the real value of your coin comes down to recognizing that most circulated 1951S pennies are common but still collectible because of the growing interest in wheat cents. The black shade condition is normal and does not remove its collectible nature. Buyers today look at the total presentation, including color, detail remaining lettering, and whether the coin retains its original shape without damage such as deep scratches, corrosion pits, or bending. A cleaner, naturally toned black surface may actually make the coin more desirable because it shows age without signs of cleaning. If you have a 1951S penny that looks darker than usual, it is important to not clean it. Cleaning copper often lowers the value and can leave permanent scratch marks or discoloration. Collectors prefer the original surface, even if it is dark, because it shows authenticity and natural aging. Leaving the coin as it is and presenting it in good lighting often gives it a better chance of selling at the higher end of the normal value range. As wheat pennies continue to gain popularity, especially among younger collectors, the demand for date and mint mark combinations like 1951S remains stable. Even though the coin is not extremely rare, its connection to mid-20th century history and the long-running Lincoln cent series gives it a place in many collections. In today's market, a normal circulated black-toned 1951 wheat penny can be valued anywhere from a few cents to a few dollars, with higher values reserved for coins with exceptional eye appeal or interesting mint errors. This coin may not be one of the rarest in the wheat cent family, but it holds significance because of its age, its mint mark, and the lasting appreciation for copper coins that reflect the natural aging process. As collectors continue to search for vintage U.S. cents, the 1951 penny remains a reliable and affordable piece that connects history, collectors, and the lasting legacy of Abraham Lincoln featured on one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the interesting coins that collectors still search for today, especially when it appears in circulated condition because its long history and the movement of the Denver Mint during the mid-1950s created a large number of coins, but also left room for unique pieces that stand out in today's market. And when we talk about the most valuable examples, we are looking at those coins that carry strong eye appeal, clear details, and unique characteristics, even when they have been used in circulation for many years. This coin is part of the classic wheat cent series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958, and the 1956 penny belongs to the final years before the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial format, so it has that traditional wheat ears on the reverse and the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, but collectors have learned that not all examples are the same. Some pieces in circulated condition still hold impressive value because of their grade, rarity, and high quality, and overall demand by collectors. The 1956 penny in circulated condition normally carries a modest value in low grade, but when the coin shows stronger details, fewer marks, and a more attractive surface, then the price rises, especially among collectors who focus on wheat pennies that show stronger preservation even after being used in daily life. The historical value of this coin also adds interest because it was minted during a time when the United States economy was growing and coinage was still dominated by copper cents that were used by millions of people every day. And holding a wheat penny like this is like holding a small piece of American history that connects the present to the past. Many collectors want to complete full sets of wheat pennies, and the 1956 is an important part of the series, which keeps the demand steady in today's market. When we talk about the most valuable examples, we are looking at circulated coins that still bring strong prices at auctions. And to understand the price, we look at different circulated grades, beginning from good, very good, fine, very fine, and extremely fine. The higher the grade, the more value the coin holds, even in circulated condition. Lower grade examples may only sell for a small amount, around a few cents to $1, but high-grade circulated examples, especially those close to extremely fine or almost uncirculated, can reach higher values. Collectors tend to pay more when the coin has fewer scratches, minimal wear, and strong details in Lincoln's hair and beard, along with crisp wheat ears on the reverse side. There have also been some rare varieties in error coins for the 1956 penny, which can raise the value even further. Some pennies from this year show repunched mint marks, double details, or unusual striking errors, and these varieties are highly wanted by collectors because they are uncommon and visually noticeable even to the average viewer. For an everyday circulated example, the typical value usually falls in a small price range, but for the most valuable circulated specimens with sharp features, the price can move into several dollars, and in some auction cases even higher, depending on condition and collector interest. The market for wheat pennies remains strong because new collectors join the hobby every year, and older collectors continue searching for better examples to upgrade their collections. The 1956 penny benefits from this steady interest and continues to appear in coin shows, auctions, and online listings where prices vary depending on demand at the time. In today's market, a circulated 1956 wheat penny can range from around 10 cents to $1 for common worn pieces, while stronger circulated examples can go from $2 to $10, and the most valuable circulated coins with nearly full detail can reach the range of $15 to even $25 in special cases where the surfaces remain clean and well preserved. And if the coin has an error variety, then the value can rise much higher, creating additional interest among advanced collectors. This is why the 1956 D penny remains an exciting coin to study and collect, because its value depends not only on age, but on its condition, rarity, beauty, and historical appeal. So when you look at your own coin, you should carefully check the quality of the details, the strength of the mint mark, the wear patterns on Lincoln's portrait, and the sharpness of the wheat ears on the reverse side. All these elements affect its value in today's market and help determine whether your coin is a common circulated example or one of the more valuable pieces sought after by collectors around the world. Next up, the 1956 D Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that many collectors overlook, but one that still carries interest and value even when found in damaged condition. The 1956 D Wheat Penny was produced at the Denver Mint during a time when millions of these coins entered circulation. As part of the classic wheat cent series, it remains popular among collectors who study small details, mint variations, and condition differences that can influence its price in today's market. This penny carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner, and the wheat ears on the reverse, which have become icons of early American coinage. Even though the coin was minted in large numbers, the value of individual examples can change based on condition, rarity, and demand. When a 1956 D wheat penny is found in damaged condition, its value decreases compared to well-preserved examples, but it can still be worth more than face value depending on the type of damage and the interest level of collectors. Some collectors look for unique wear patterns or minting issues that survived years of circulation. The key to understanding the value of this coin lies in examining the details, even in heavily worn or damaged examples. Collectors often check the mint mark because the D mint mark from the Denver Mint is clear and bold on most coins, though heavy damage may distort or weaken it. In damaged condition, the coin might show scratches, dents, corrosion, discoloration, or environmental wear, but the history behind each mark gives character to the piece and tells the story of its journey through decades of use. The 1956 D wheat penny had a high mintage of more than 1 billion coins, which makes it common in general, but certain examples, even in damaged condition, can still attract buyers, especially if the coin holds strong detail on Lincoln's face or the wheat lines on the reverse. In today's market, a damaged 1956 D wheat penny can sell for a small but meaningful amount, depending on how the damage affects the visual appeal and structural integrity. Most damaged examples sell between a few cents and $1, but some with interesting characteristics may reach slightly higher values, especially if the coin shows remaining detail or has an unusual type of damage. Collectors often buy them in bulk or use them to fill album spaces while searching for better specimens. Some buyers value them as historical pieces, even when the condition is far from perfect. This coin may not hold the same premium as rare dates or mint heirs, but it still represents an important part of the Wheat Penny series and remains a popular collectible because it connects people to American history. The 1956 D Wheat Penny was made from a bronze alloy of copper and tin, giving it a rich color that changes over time, especially when exposed to moisture and air. Many damaged examples show darkening, pitting, or discoloration that gives the coin an aged look, which some collectors appreciate. The reverse side with the wheat stalks often wears down quickly, making it harder to read the words 1 cent and United States of America, yet even with heavy wear, the design remains recognizable and meaningful to collectors in today's market. In today's market, the value of a damaged 1956 D penny is influenced by factors like the amount of visible detail, the level of corrosion, the strength of the mint mark, and the buyer's personal interest. While perfectly preserved examples can bring higher prices, damaged ones still hold sentimental and collectible value for many enthusiasts who enjoy holding a piece of history that's circulated through countless hands over the years. Even though the financial value of a damaged 1956 D wheat penny is modest, the historical and nostalgic appeal remains strong, making it a fun and accessible collectible for beginners and experienced collectors alike. If you have one of these coins, you can examine its features to determine how much detail is left and compare it to similar coins sold in the market to estimate its current value. In most cases, expect the value to fall around 10 cents to $1, depending on the severity of the damage and how much original design remains visible. This makes the 1956 D penny a great example of how even a common and worn coin can still be appreciated in the world of coin collecting, where every coin tells a story of its journey through American history. Next up, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the interesting coins from the post-war era, and today we will talk about its value, its history, and why collectors still search for it, even though millions were made. When we look at a 1946 penny without a mint mark, we are looking at a coin made at the Philadelphia Mint, and Philadelphia coins in this year do not carry any mint mark. This coin came right after the end of the Second World War, when the United States returned to using copper for cent production after experimenting with steel in 1943. Because of this return to copper, many people saved pennies from the mid-1940s, making the state easier to find in lower grades. Yet examples in true good condition with clear details and honest wear are still desirable for collectors who want a nice example for their wheat penny albums. The design remains the classic Lincoln Wheat Penny created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the adverse and the wheat ears on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. Collectors care about the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, the definition of the wheat lines on the back, and the overall color and luster of the coin. A 1946 penny in good condition generally shows full readable date, clear Liberty and In God We Trust, and visible but worn wheat lines on the reverse. While this is not a high-grade coin, it is still better than average circulated examples that have heavy wear, corrosion, or damage. Even though the total mintage of 1946 Philadelphia pennies was extremely high, with more than 900 million struck, the value today depends strongly on the condition. A coin in good condition avoids major scratches, dents, discoloration, or pitting. Collectors want problem-free coins even when they are not in mint state. Good condition coins can still have decent eye appeal, which helps them sell more quickly in the marketplace. Today, the value of a 1946 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition ranges from about 3 cents to 10 cents in regular circulation demand, depending on the buyer and the overall appearance. However, coin value can sometimes be higher when the coin has exceptional color, original red-brown toning, or when it looks sharper than the typical good grade. In some small auctions, a well-presented example can sell around 25 cents or slightly more, simply because collectors may bid on attractive coins even when they are common. When looking at market trends, collectors still pick 1946 pennies because it is part of the full set and because many people enjoy completing the classic Lincoln Wheat Penny series. The price may be modest, but the interest is steady. If you have one of these coins in true good condition, without signs of harsh cleaning, without scratches, and with a natural copper look, you can expect it to sell within the normal marketplace range. Coins with historical value appeal not only because of rarity, but because they represent a time period, and the 1946 penny reminds us of the economic recovery after the war. Many collectors hold these coins as a small but meaningful piece of American history. In coin shops, online options, and collector groups, the selling price in today's market continues to be stable. Dealers often buy them in bulk at 2 to 3 cents each, while better-looking coins sell individually for more. If your coin has above-average eye appeal, you may see a collector willing to pay 10 to 25 cents, depending on their interest. A coin in good condition will never reach high dollar prices, simply because the supply is large, yet demand for nice-looking coins keeps the market active. The true value for most collectors is the connection to history and the satisfaction of finding a well-preserved example from the mid-1940s. The 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark is a common coin, but still a meaningful one to many collectors, and its value in today's market reflects both its availability and its historical charm. Whether you are beginning a collection or adding another coin to your existing set, the 1946 wheat penny remains an affordable and interesting piece with stable demand in the coin collecting world. Next up, this video explores the most valuable Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1956 without a mint mark in good condition and why this common circulating coin can still attract collectors in today's market. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny comes from the final years of the wheat reverse design, which ended in 1958, making these late-date wheat cents more interesting to new collectors, even though the mintage was very high. In 1956, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins with no mint mark, meaning that the coin was originally made for everyday use and not intended to be rare or valuable. Most examples survived over time, but collectors still look for clean details, strong strikes, and good condition surfaces, because these small differences can increase value. The obverse of the coin shows the historic profile of Abraham Lincoln, first used in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. The reverse carries the classic wheat ears that gave this series its popular name. This design is loved by collectors because it represents the early 20th century era of American coinage. The 1956 no mint mark wheat penny is usually found in circulated condition with wear on the high points of Lincoln's face, hair, and coat, but a good condition example still shows readable lettering and clear wheat stalks on the reverse, which helps the coin hold more value than heavily worn pieces. When talking about value, it is important to remember that most 1956 no mint mark wheat pennies are still worth only a small premium above face value because of the large supply available. However, in today's market, a good condition coin can bring more attention, especially from beginner collectors and people who enjoy building penny sets. Value depends on the overall eye appeal, luster, remaining detail, and whether the coin has any small mint-made varieties. Sometimes collectors find minor die cracks, die chips, or small repunched elements that can make a simple coin more desirable. In today's auction market, a standard 1956 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition generally sells for around 10 cents to 50 cents, depending on the level of wear and presentation. Very clean examples with original color and no damage may sell for $1 or slightly more when demand is strong. Higher grade versions, such as extremely fine or uncirculated pieces, can reach a few dollars, and certified mint state examples with strong red color can go much higher, but those coins fall into a different category than the typical circulated good condition penny discussed here. Collectors appreciate this coin for its accessibility, affordability, and historical charm. Even though it is not considered a rare wheat penny, the 1956 no mint mark piece represents an era when millions of Americans used wheat cents every day. Its simple beauty and classic design keep it popular, and many beginners start their collections with coins like this because they are easy to find and inexpensive to buy. The value may not be exceptionally high, but the coin helps introduce new collectors to the hobby, and sometimes people discover a higher grade example in old coin jars or inherited collections, which adds excitement. As you examine your own 1956 wheat penny, look closely at the lettering, the date, and the reversed wheat lines. The more detail you can see, the stronger the value becomes. Coins with original color, without corrosion, scratches, or heavy wear, always perform better in the market. If you believe your coin has more detail than a normal good condition piece, you may want to compare it with online images of higher grades or consult a local coin shop for an honest evaluation. Even though the 1956 no mint mark wheat penny may not reach extremely high prices, it remains an important part of coin collecting history and still carries value beyond its 1-cent face value. For many collectors, this simple coin reminds them that even common dates have stories behind them, and that every old penny is a piece of American heritage held in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you next time. Happy collecting!